Good morning, everyone. Hope everybody had a wonderful day yesterday and hope everybody's having a wonderful day today. So, wow, it has been an interesting past 14 hours, give or take. So, yesterday, I went to bed kind of early-ish in the afternoon. My sleep schedule is all topsy-turvy right now. But I went to sleep, laid down in the afternoon, about 2:30-ish. And woke up about 7 or so, 7:30-ish, to the power going out. We were having a wonderful storm. And, hey guys, Matt and Turnip. But we were having a pretty gnarly storm. Thunder, lightning, rain, wind. But the power had gone out. And it was out for a couple of minutes, and then it came back up. Cool. Got everything started back up again. Got the internet started back up again. Had just started getting everything up and running when, boom, power goes out again. Only this time, it didn't come right back up. So there we are in the dark until it was about almost 1:30 when everything finally came on. Yay. Then, when I get everything up and running and start working on my machine and doing some stuff, I go ahead and I check my mail, my email. And I'd gotten a notice from... No, I had not gotten a notice from the server. I had checked on the server and noticed the server was down. And I'm like, the fuck? So I go and I check on the server, the Space Engineers server. And sure enough, it's just the log file says ran out of disk space. And I'm like, the fuck? When I got the initial package, it said that up to 100 gigabytes would be free. Okay, cool. There you go. So, for whatever reason, I apparently had used up 100 gigabytes. Don't know how, and I don't think that's actually what happened. So I start looking through, and I start pulling down all sorts of data and whatnot, and I'm downloading backups. No, there weren't that many backups. I double-checked. I triple-checked. None of the log files. I went through and just did a whole bunch of stuff. Server still said that it was disk full. I was like, okay, time to send in a support ticket. So I sent in the ticket. And they get back to me. And they're like, yep, we see the problem. We'll go ahead and fix it. Hold on. I was like, cool. They fixed it. And they're like, I was like, okay, well, I did what you told me to do because they told me to run the Steam updater and then just restart the server. Awesome. Did that. Server came right up. But part of the message, I was like, also, what was taking up all the space and what can I do in the future to keep that from happening? All I got as a reply was, can you verify that the server's running correctly? Nothing about my request for information. Nothing about, hey, what happened? Why did this happen? And so I double checked that the server was indeed working correctly and just replied with, yep, server's working correctly. Thanks for the help. So I don't know why the server went down. I don't know why it thought it was out of disk space because there was plenty. Even with all of the mods that we had installed, there's no way we were hitting 100 gigabytes. None whatsoever. And that just kind of sealed my decision to go ahead and at the end of the month, server's coming down. Because if they can't be bothered to tell me why the problem happened and how I can keep from fixing it, or how I can keep it from happening so I can fix it later, I'm not sure I want to continue doing business with them. That and with some of the other problems that I've had, it just doesn't feel like it's worthwhile. That's possible, yeah. And that really was like, it was cool that they got it taken care of as quickly as they did. Awesome. But completely ignored my question, did not elaborate. And then what makes it even funnier is that there was a bar on the console, on the web portal, that showed how much hard drive space I was using. That bar disappeared. And I was like, where'd that bar go? Why you not telling me things? Honestly, at this point, I think I'm just kind of, for the time being, done with running multiplayer or doing multiplayer stuff on Space Engineers. Honestly, I've been having so much more fun in Dune. I need to come down here, I guess. Down here. So, and I do like single player a lot more. That's where I'm more comfortable. It's where I don't have to worry about other people. I mean, don't get me wrong. I like you guys. You're cool and all. But. Yeah, there you go, Matt. You guys are a great pair of troublemakers. But anyway, that's what happened with the server. So if you tried to get on last night and it wasn't up, or you saw any of the server messages, that's what that was about. Go ahead, start. I hate those guys so much. And you're welcome. Oh, shit. Oh, come on. God, I hate the flamers. Fair enough. All right, let's get... No. That's enough of that bullshit. Thanks for the extra bandage. Thanks for the extra melange. Wow, for the vitamin shake, basically. All right. You're up. Yeah, give me that stuff. Oh yeah, this is the location that Kintar and I were at a couple of times, farming up some materials and stuffs. Yes. Yeah, it takes a lot of platinum. Oh, no. A lot of gold. Hey, Tommy, how you doing? Ow. Glad to hear it. That's enough out of you. Okay. You're just be dead. Just be dead. Okay. You be dead as well. How are you not dead? There we go. Jesus. I swear it feels like these guys get harder every time I play. It's like they're just slowly beefing them up every time. Nope. Oh, come on. I didn't get hit that much. All right. Well, I don't need to stick around there. There's no reason to. I need to continue going this way. I need to get up there. So that's where we're going to go. Which... Is there anything? Ooh, give me you. Then I need the thing for that, which is close by-ish. Oh, come on. Got you that time. Okay, that makes me feel a little bit better. Alright, which one of you numbskulls is next? Oh, that's the thing I was looking for. Give me that. Now I just gotta go in this stupid little room in here. For me, yes. I think it is worth it as a game. I cannot make that in good conscience, that decision for anybody else. If you are looking for a review, I would say it is a good game. It is fun, it is exciting, it has interesting aspects to it. It definitely scratches a lot of those personal itches in my brain. Oh, I thought that was interactive. And... I'd probably put it squarely in like a 7 to 8. Nope, we're out. Also, yes, happy birthday there, Tommy. Let's get out of here. This place sucks. You're welcome. All right, let's head back to Helios Gate. Talk to the Mentat. Anything above 18 is old man. There. I'm going to be that guy and park right on the front lawn of this place. That's fair.
I did not calculate seeing you today.
And
interesting. Let's see what you have.
That's true.
Profile of the Sandfly's illegal spice trade. A possible dead end, but I will have the sample tested. I calculate your work has been exemplary. I've put in a good word with my mentor, Thufir Hawat, Mentat to Duke Leto Atreides. I want you to visit him in person. He is the finest man I know, the perfect Mentat. He has all the pertinent details of our investigation, but I'd like to
we're really hitting that like Jurassic period right now in our lives.
I've built a strong case against the man most likely responsible for all of these deaths, an influential and respected businessman in Arrakeen. Ambrose Lucifera, scion of a minor house of the same name. I've collected evidence of corrupted business ventures and a connection to Captain Skorda.
There we
What's
go.
more, he knows several of the victims of the tainted spice and has been in contact with a Harkonnen agent. I intend to put a stop to this. The equation is simple. What's more, he should be eliminated. You have my every confidence.
Okay, cool. Goodbye. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, if you've played Conan Exiles, this will feel very familiar. It has a lot of the same sort of DNA and same sort of mechanics in it. Like, as soon as I started doing the wall climbing, I knew immediately this game was, like, built off of Conan Exiles. And I've said it previously, that's not a bad thing. Like, if you liked Conan Exiles, and you like Dune as a property, why am I so damn loud today? But if you like those things in general, you will most likely like this game. Where am I going? I believe he is in Arrakeen, so let's go that way. But it is a lot of fun. I've thoroughly enjoyed it. Don't do that. Definitely don't do it. Well, depends on where you're standing. Actually, funnily enough, early this morning, I was out in the deep desert and was doing some collection of stravidium and titanium. And while I was out there, there was one big rock structure that I was around. And I was actually running around without my shield belt on, because you have to consider, if everything is sand colored and you see something bright blue, that's going to draw your attention. So I was specifically running around without my shield on, so that way I wasn't drawing attention. And overall, it did a pretty good job of making sure that I was as hidden as possible. Let's go pick up some gas. We're going to Taco Bell with this one. And then, of course, as I was flying back home, I kept seeing worms popping up. And I was like, either somebody's fucking with them, or they're just generally, like, attacking random stuff. It's good stuff. And all we gotta do is go to Arakeen. Oh, it's actually good that we're here because there was something else I wanted to check on. I'm not sure I have enough Solaris for it, but I wanted to double check the price. Is the Harkonnen basic lights? All right, I need 10,000 for that. Okay, cool. So 2 more thousand and I can get these bastards. And then I need 20,000 for the office furniture set. Because it feels weird using Atreides lights with the Harkonnen setup. Oh, it feels like they fixed the map finally. You're all the way out there. Got it. I think one of the other beautiful things about this game that they've done fairly well is that there is a lot of areas to go through, and your still suit discipline is appalling. I want you to know that. But there are lots of little places to go and explore, and apparently there's lots of little secrets as well. Stuff that, you know, you don't just normally find, which is pretty damn cool. So they've done a fairly competent job.
You were expected. Don't look so shocked. As the Duke's master of assassins, I must know the movement of every grain of sand in Arakeen. I believe you have a message for me.
Yes.
Andrea speaks very highly of you. If that was all I knew of you, it would be enough. I know a great deal more.
Creepy.
Your file grows daily. I'm quite pleased with the investigation into Skorda and the tainted spice. I look forward to the results of the analysis. Ah, she thinks he's responsible. Permission denied. The evidence is circumstantial, and he provides financial support. Assassination would be hasty. Andrea is my most promising protege. She may seem to have a machine mind, but she's as human as you and I. She does not show it, but she takes the tainted spice deaths.
Yeah, that's fair.
Personally. She sees it as a personal failure to compute the truth rapidly enough.
Okay. Well, now we just gotta head back. That was at least I've learned 2 things. First of all, I'm not allowed to kill that guy. And second of all, I need 10,000 Solaris in order to get the lights that I want. So, hey, not a wasted trip. We've learned valuable information. Damn it! Wear your still suits. We're in the desert, you sons of bitches. God, I'm terrible about that. Like, that was one of those things that irritated me a lot with the movies and the, I think it was primarily the movies, is that they spent a lot of time taking their baffles off, as they're called, so that you could see the actor's face. But there's that part of my brain going, you're wasting so much moisture. Now, granted, there's always got to be a little bit of suspension of disbelief or release from a strict adherence to the rules of the story. But it's still one of those things like, come on, people. Practice a little bit more discipline. Man, I'm such a nerd. And fuel up. So today is primarily going to be about just doing missions, working on the northern base some more. Nerd alert, always. We're basically on high alert for that. But then also going through and just, you know, just doing stuff. I might go out into the deep desert a little bit later, probe around, see if I can pick up some more stravidium and titanium. Try and make sure that I can stay out of trouble, that sort of thing. As we're actually starting to get to a decent volume of plastanium. Now, it's nowhere near what we need. And there's still a lot of other parts that need to be collected. However, in general, we're starting to get a good stockpile. So it'll be nice to be able to have that amount available eventually, as I believe our first, like, we've been kind of going back and forth on what we want to get built first. And it is a difficult decision to make. Part of me wants to go ahead and upgrade the cut array on the buggy to a Mark 6. So that way getting aluminum is going to be much easier, and especially getting jasmium.
The balance of probability suggested I would see you soon. Good. I have the test results of the tainted spice. It will take time to interpret the data, but we will have a better understanding of this poison.
Awesome.
What did Thufir say regarding my request to eliminate Ambrose Lucifera? What? No. No, his is a brilliant mind. Surely he understands the logic, the calculation, the need. Lucifera is a corruption, a cancer. The only kindness is to cut him out. The only solution to the equation is terminal. Why doesn't he compute that? And what if that's true? I have a mind of meat and electricity like anyone else. I just have to think, to collate. Thufir is rarely wrong, but he is wrong now. We must act before it is too late. We will take the initiative, and I will take full responsibility.
All
I've
right.
taken the liberty of lacing this expensive bottle of wine with some of the tainted spice. It will be undetectable to poison snoopers. Ambrose is a known Epicurean and experience seeker. Convince him that this bottle of wine... I'm too well known in Arakeen, but you can make sure Ambrose drinks this. Take the bottle.
Okay. Back to Arakeen. But before I do, since I'm going to be out there, first of all, let's go ahead. We're going to head back to the guild base. Oh, that's another thing that happened. So finally, that little base that has been right next door to the guild base since I rebuilt it. There we go. That little base finally started to get blasted, get sandblasted. And in fact, when I went to check on it last night, all of its walls were missing. Awesome. So I was dicking around with it and poking at it, and apparently I had full access to everything that was inside of it. So I raided it. And it looked like the poor guy had put everything that he had inside of there and then just never logged on again. So I wound up just, taking all the stuff out of it. There was like, I don't know, 16, 18,000 Solaris in it. Not much. Yeah, the little base is, little bastard's gone now because I also went ahead and demolished the rest of it. However, can't do anything about it. The spot right here in front of me, that's blocked off. And even if it wasn't blocked off, for the guild base, we're at our limit for the amount of plots that I can actually, or the amount of claims that I can stake. So I can't expand the base any farther, which is like, damn it. But, oh well. And cool. I also went ahead and picked up. Oh, damn. Now I can bring those back to our other base. Got another Decaliter John. It's a little bit damaged, but could be worse. And then nope. I want those. Give them back. Thank you. And then I need 2,000. Thank you. Low grade lubricant I will grab and bring with. And everything else should be good. Okay, cool. Oh, that reminds me. There were a couple of things that I wanted to look at. Potentially making. All right, so the gloves that I have right now, armor value of 29, heat protection of 0.9. Probably about the same for the boots. What I want to look at is quartz. Okay, the heat protection is lower. The gloves are better though, so we'll grab those. And then, good heat protection off of Mirakeb still suit mask. The one that I have here, the Gimp suit, that's heat protection 1.2. Okay, so that is just better. Customization. And then you get that. Awesome. Look, Ma, it matches. Now, I could do that, but honestly, I like the look of this There's just something about it that I like. It's kind of become sort of me in a way. Like I could do the Sardaukar one. That looks pretty cool. But I like this. It's just something about it. It speaks to me. Let's also, I believe we also need to do a corpse run at some point. Yeah, because we are empty on the corpses, so we'll have to do that a little bit later. And by we, I mean probably me, unless Kintar gets to it first. All right. I can drop off the gloves. By the way, one of the things that is, I believe, currently happening is that there was a vote. So I'm guessing every week what winds up happening is that between or during the Coriolis storm, what just blew up? Oh. But during the Coriolis storm, there is a vote that takes place for whichever, I'm guessing, is the losing faction. And the losing faction this week chose full loot PvP. So if you die in PvP, you drop all of your stuff. How is there a spice below? Oh. Wow, somebody already got to it. Jesus. Well, if you do, just leave behind everything that you don't specifically need. Good luck on getting me, worm. Man, that would suck. Get all that spice and then just get eaten. That's probably not a bad idea. But honestly, when I went out there, I didn't have any issues. The only time that I came across somebody was actually on my way back. And they were kind of... It was weird. They were up and then they were down, and then they were up and then they were down. And I got a little bit concerned when they wound up behind me, but I was at full speed. They were not. So I wasn't that concerned. And there was like one point where I was getting close to the edge of the wall to go between deep desert and then the safe area. Yeah, I'll do that when I get back. I'm just going to Arakeen. It's like a bug on a windshield. All right. Let's go here. And away we go. I will say this, though. There is something wonderfully time-consuming about this game where it never really feels like you don't have anything to do. If I'm not doing anything at the moment, it's because I'm actively not doing anything. Not because I don't have anything to do. Which I like. A lot of games have that problem where there are these periods between doing things while you're waiting for something to happen or waiting to be able to go do something. And this is just, there's constantly something to do. Some form of farming, some location that needs to be visited, places to go explore, that sort of thing. And I bypassed the person I wanted to talk to. Give me your lights. Yes. Haha. There are 4 lights. Still probably one of the greatest lines in Star Trek history. Although, I will say, my second favorite line of all time, also from Star Trek The Next Generation, is when Q has been kicked out of the continuum and he's standing there pleading with Picard and crew, and he's all like, what do I have to do to prove that I'm mortal? And without missing a beat, and with the most smug grin anybody has ever had in the history of ever, Worf says simply, die. It's just like, yeah, no, that's fair. That's probably the best reaction anybody could ever have. Who's Kafik? Wait. Oh, yep, I see. Nope, I'm getting it now. Okay, now I can go away. Those almost look appetizing. This guy.
Shai-Hulud blesses me with your presence again.
Or not. Okay, that was weird. Whatever. And he's probably here. Oh, that reminds me, I also need to get some more Solaris. He's up above. So that I can pay off some taxes. Basically, I'm going to have to sit there and run a bunch of contracts for a while.
I can already tell we are going to be fast friends, unless we already are, in which case it's so good to see you. How long has it been? Far be it from me to look a mysterious wine-bearer in the mouth, but perhaps you ought to tell me who your patron is before I accept. That does sound romantic. When do I get to meet her? Or him?
Fair enough.
Caledonian wine. A rare experience. By Jove, I like you. I'm going to a party later, and sharing this will make me the belle of the ball. Do you drink while on duty? Don't answer. Let me tempt you not. I'll shield you from this devil's ambrosia. Just a selfless soul. Drink. Well, I'm afraid something of this vintage simply must be shared. It's just my indelibly magnanimous... Oh, I'm quite good at enjoying. When it comes to indulgent...
Exit the bar. Now run away from the scene of the crime. I was never here. Oh, hey, there goes some extra Solaris. Talk to Thufir Hawat. Okay. Yay, level... What level am I again? 124. Where are you now? Okay. I believe I'm doing that one. Okay, cool. And Thufir. Good old Thufir. It's Thufir 1. Disrespectful. The amount of water they're just wasting into the air. What do they think they are? Members of the Atreides? You'd think that water just grew on trees the way that they're acting.
I expected you. Sorry. Occupational hazard. Yes. I didn't initially expect her to move so fast, but I've taken action.
Yeah, there you
What do
go.
you have to say for your part in all of this? Ah, yes. You chose to follow Andrea's orders while explicitly ignoring mine. A rather creative interpretation of chain of command, don't you think?
I try not to.
People nearly died in the fallout of this stunt. A useful contact in several blameless bystanders. Andrea turned herself in, claimed complete responsibility for everything. Loyalty, her actions took me aback. Ambrose, you see, was my double agent, feeding misinformation to the Harkonnen. There will be a disciplinary action.
So basically,
Then I will place her on other cases far from Skorda. She faced her misconduct with honor. Our work isn't done.
so essentially, he was using Ambrose and putting a target on Ambrose that, of course, his protege then picked up on and realized that Ambrose was the bad guy, which is the whole purpose of that. And then...
Now you work for me directly. You have Andrea to thank for. She made the case to keep
and
you
then
on.
she tries to kill Ambrose
A process cannot be understood
because
without
Thufir
stopping.
didn't tell her the correct information.
Understanding must move with
He
the
didn't,
flow of the
as a
process,
mentat,
must join it and flow
give
with
her
it.
complete
I can
information
only
that she
teach you
needed.
what comes next by throwing you into the flow directly. Perhaps in the process, understanding the origin of the spice
So
is
yeah,
vital. Taking in all
that's
the data.
that's an annoying
I detect
story trope. I
imperial
get it,
influence,
but it's still
though
annoying.
I do not know from whom. We must trace the links in the chain back to Skorda. It is from him we will get clearer answers. The man recently appeared in Arakeen. I've calculated his most likely contact, a naive Atreides trooper named Rafe Arslau. He's stationed in Arakeen. We know he's up.
You mean the place that I'm currently in? He's stationed here. All right. But yeah, like that's the one thing that annoys me about storytelling is I'm using this person in order to achieve an end goal. Somebody who is directly under my command is working against the person that I have doing this spy thing. And because of the way that it's all working out, the person under my command is going to attempt to kill my agent. However, all I'm going to do is say, don't do that, and hope for the best. And then, when shit goes sideways, because you knew it was going to, all of a sudden, I didn't mean for that to happen. They're in big trouble, blah, blah, blah. Well, this was your fuck up, not theirs.
Hi, is there something you need? You are you? Well, who's asking? Yeah, I heard he got jumped by mercenaries when he tried to go off-world.
Yep.
Happy to help. Scored as a hero of mine. I owe everything I am today to him. Right. Last I saw, Scorder was talking to one of them weirdo cult recruiters in town. I could see one of them.
Okay. Thanks for the information, stab. Honestly, I don't know how he just bent over and started bleeding out right here in the middle of the bar. You know, it's that spice, man. It does weird shit to people. And I need to find a cult leader like this guy again.
Shai-Hulud blesses me with your presence.
But not... Oh. See the gardens of Arrakis. See the gardens, they said. It's full of water, they said. Bah humbug. Okay. Hunting. There we go. That is an impressive looking building, though. Like, that was one of those things that I was kind of revisiting the Dune books in my head the other day. And specifically, Children of Dune, where they were talking about how big and massive Arrakeen had become after Paul Atreides had not only taken over after the Emperor, but then also after his passing. And it is amazing to think the scale at which certain things could be built in this.
I expected you. Sorry. Occupational hazard.
Also, your lips are stained incorrectly. They should be red from the sappho juice.
Well done. The cult in question is the Masquerade. Strange cult. Even stranger rituals. But why would Scorder be talking to them?
Maybe he's just trying to get a booty call. We don't know.
One of their cult recruiters. See how far you can get by playing an eager new recruit. Their practices may seem strange and even nonsensical, but don't fall into the trap of underestimating them.
Dude, I have killed so many of them. Like, that's what... Okay, so that nitpicking about the color of his lips, that's one of those things that it's a detail that is mentioned multiple times in the books, is that mentats will typically have red-stained lips because of the sappho juice that they take in order to help maintain their mentat capabilities. The sappho juice is actually very similar to the spice concoction that the Bene Gesserit wind up taking. And so it is a very important part of their mythos. Nope, I'm still in Arrakeen. Okay. And so the fact that they don't have the mentats with the correct lip color, yes, it's a nitpick, but it's also kind of one of those things like, but you have the information right there. They mention it like a dozen or so times in the first book alone. Back to this guy again.
Shai-Hulud blesses me with your presence again. And the coils of providence bring you to us. I am a naib of the Masquerette.
No.
I'm a teacher. I am a recruiter.
No, because what it sounds like is that it's a staining agent, very similar to like an actual tattoo.
By spilling our water. I understand your confusion. To the blind, sight must seem like insanity. But this is blindness that can be cured. In the meantime, can I be...
Yeah, no, this is...
Oh, yes.
Because it is a very potent narcotic, from what I understand, to help sharpen their mind and allow them to perform the mentat computations that are necessary. Yay, and we're going back to Odom. We're going back home, boys. That's how you can usually tell mentats apart from everybody else, because they also mentioned the mentat assassin Peter de Vries was the same way. The thing that made Peter different, though, was the fact that he was, from what I understand, bred from the Bene Tleilaxu. So the Baron would order his mentats from them, and specifically would have them ordered with the assassination skill set. Specifically because he wanted a mentat that was equal to Thufir Hawat. God, I cannot talk right now. But he wanted somebody who was going to be of an equal to Thufir. The problem was, however, that he would always wind up giving his or pushing his mentats to have some sort of vice. And that made them flawed compared to Thufir, who was very stalwart and dedicated to his position as mentat for House Atreides, because he had basically lived through 3 generations, as he had been mentat for Duke Leto's father, the Duke that was killed by the Seleucid bull. Then, of course, he was mentat for Leto Atreides. And then he was starting to be a mentat for Paul until the attack on Arrakeen by the Harkonnens and the Sardaukar. Which, spoilers if you haven't read Dune yet. Now, the one thing that Baron Harkonnen did, because Thufir had survived the initial attack on Arrakeen, what he wound up doing was, in order to sort of recruit Thufir over to his side, is basically said, at any point you could potentially wind up, killing me, or you could help me overthrow the Emperor, since he participated in this raid. And then on top of that, he also fed Thufir a poison that was a 2-part poison, that as long as he kept getting the second part of the poison, it wouldn't activate. But once it did, or once he stopped getting that second part, then it would start killing him. No, damn it. I want those. Thank you. Further proof that I know way too much about this damn story. Oh. On a completely unrelated note, Twitch is up to no good. Twitch is doing some real shady shit. And probably going to get in trouble for it if they keep it up. But apparently, they are currently enforcing their rule about multi-streaming. But specifically, they are enforcing it in such a way as to make sure that you cannot advertise if you have a Kick account. And it's like, really? Really? That's how petty you're getting? So you're essentially doing your best to drive people to Kick. Got it. This is going to be fun. Now, fortunately, I don't multi-stream, or I guess unfortunately. As I don't know how to set up OBS to do that, and I currently can't afford a multi-streaming service. But I had looked into it at one point. Okay, let's look at some lights here. Wow, that's it? We don't have anything more? That's a curved light, but where does the... Okay. That's next to that one. So why can't I attach this to a wall? Why isn't this... Why? I'm so confused now. Apparently these are freestanding. Or not? I don't... This Harkonnen set is weird. Okay, these are wall lights. That makes sense. Whatever. Honestly, at this point, I think Funcom could do a little bit more work on these. But that being said, need some more ceiling lights. That would be awesome. Let's see, what time is it? I need a quick AFK. I will be back in just a quick few. Need a snack. Then when I get back, we will, I guess, continue to do some... Actually, I think we'll switch and do a little bit of building. It should be close to... Nope. We got a ways to go before nighttime. Okay. But yeah, we'll figure something out. I'll be back in just a few. Righty, we are back. Oh, shit. Oh, well. I just realized I was supposed to go talk to Thufir again. Oh, well. Whoops. And let's start. So one of the things that I learned I could do was actually force the doors to stay open. Which I just suddenly had an idea about. Walls. Okay, and then manage, disabled, disabled, disabled. Kind of like me. But that way, manage, and then there. So that way these doors will stay open, but technically you wouldn't be able to get through them. And then the same thing. Aha. And perfect. So what I can do then is I might get rid of these little walls, since I'm basically going to have the whole thing kind of gated in, if you will. Or not. Well, I am, but I don't necessarily have to get rid of those. Oh. Ho, ho, ho. Half walls being awesome. Because that creates a nice sort of pseudo window without actually being a window. Oh, that's the, yeah. Okay. Yes. And I still need cobalt paste. So I will still have to go by the base in order to, the guild base in order to get that. Because I would like to get that started at some point. Possibly get a couple of them. Hmm. There we go. And what I really wanted to do, and I think I mentioned this yesterday, was instead of having those out in the open looking like a horrible eyesore because they are basically attached to the base, in the worst possible way. I wanted to make sure that they were kind of tucked away, but also make them almost like a decoration as well. But let's see. If I do this, I can kind of double layer this. And so what I'm thinking is that I will have, there we go. I will have this outer ring, go ahead and get it covered. Then this inner portion will be open air with the doors. So if somebody wanted to, they could drop in here. That wouldn't be an issue. But they would only be able to visit this area specifically. They wouldn't be able to get inside of the base once I'm finished with it. And then I'm fairly certain I'll do that. You on either side here. There we go. Yes. That's kind of the look that I'm looking for. And then I'm... let's see, how far up here? Because I don't go all the way back this direction, which is fine. I plan on just closing this up, and then this will be a hallway with sort of an observation deck, if you will, to look out here. Snipe idiots who are going past, that sort of a thing. But then what I could do is go ahead and claim this side and the other side, or at least just this side. And then build a stairwell going up here to some sort of apartments or something. Some sort of additional building. Also, what? Not dew harvesting time yet. Okay. This is where it's going to get interesting. Or not. I don't know. We'll wait on that. Because I need, well, if I do this, oops. No, that's not what I wanted. Why does that feel wrong? Let's get... Let's get that in place. There we go. Okay. I need bubble. Then we need the cutout here. And then that. There we go. That's what I'm looking for. I kind of wish, and maybe this will happen later on, but it would be cool if we could essentially recruit NPCs for our bases and attach them to an inventory so that you could have either open areas where people could run up to them and talk to the NPCs on your base, whether they're guild or not, or set it so that they are for the guild and you can set them to be able to give out, like, this is a new recruit, so you give out this equipment for your guild members, that sort of a thing. That would be kind of cool. And I would really love to see that now that I'm thinking about it. Like that, just the idea of that is like, you know what? I want that. Let's do... Oh, you're not going to? Okay. That's fine. What if... Whoops. Nope, that's not going to work either. What if instead... No, I don't want, because that'll be kind of in the way. And I don't quite want that. Give me more. Thank you. We are coming up on dew harvesting time, so what I want to do is... Oh, and that's full. But I do have enough for a second one. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Let's go. This will give me a little bit of time to kind of think about this. Yes. And then while I am at it, swap over to... Shit. I don't have it on me. And I bet I know where it's at, too. It's probably still at the guild base. Because of course it is. And maybe? Did I leave it here? Yes, I did. Awesome. We'll put you there for now. Okay. And now let's go collect some moisture while we're at it. Good Lord. Nope. And awesome. And there it is. And I believe, whoops. Yeah, it may be a poor harvest, but man, does it still pull in a ton of water. All right. And then I think there might be some more this way. If not, yep, there we go. Yep, and we're full. There we go. Time to head on back. And awesome. Yeah, I left that open on purpose. Alrighty. Mm-mm-mm. So the next thing I need, some extra lights. And I guess these would just be considered like floor lights or something. There we go. There goes that one and that one. Yeah, that'll suffice. Where was that at? Out there. I wonder if we can get out there in time. Grab the compactor. Let's see. Because I'm trying to collect as much spice as possible because we need a lot of it. In general, we just need a lot of it. So it's one of those things that whenever I do catch a spice blow, I want to get out there as quickly as I can and try and collect it. Now the fun part is figuring out where it was. I think... Ah, there it is. Technically, maybe yes, but I don't think you could easily get the sand bike on there. Okay. Give me this. And nope, we're out. Come on, come on, come on. Oh, not today, buddy. Not today. 413 spice. I am good with that. Let's go ahead and take that. That was a little... As soon as you see that go red, you're like, oh, snap. You get a little bit nervous. We'll drop this off. And then I need to see if we have any more cobalt paste back at the base. Let's see which side. Actually, no. The assault thopter is back at the northern base, so I don't have to worry about it. Okay. Why are you spilling dirt all over my floor? There we go. Now, more than likely, that's going to get us like 4 or 5 spice melange, if that. So, let's see. Yeah, 4. Yeah, there you go. Oh. Okay. Oh, yes, and cobalt paste. Not in there. Not in any of you. How about you guys? I do wish it was a little bit easier to set up better inventory and storage. Like that's one of those things that is so frustrating, is that we have at this point almost 2 decades worth of these style games where inventory management is important and is, you know, you've got all of these crates, you've got all of these different boxes, you have all of these different storage options. and you're supposed to manage the inventory, but they refuse to give you better tools for better inventory management. The best that you get is in this case, you have an input and you have an output, and you just have to kind of set them up and hope to God it all works. It's like, why can't you give us anything better than that? Why do we have to struggle through it? All right. Let's see. You also... what are you set up with? Mark 5, everything. Okay, cool. We're going to go ahead and use this to go collect some bodies. God, I'd love to... Honestly, I just need to redo a lot of stuff. If anything, I will be happy if I reach a point with the northern base where we can move the majority of our operation up to it, and then I can scale down the guild base to basically just a hangar and a couple of support rooms. Because then at that point, it will be much easier to maintain it and just use it as sort of a central location where people can congregate if necessary. Sucks to be you, buddy. I want your body. Thank you. No, I saw somebody over there. There he is. Got him. Oh. Nope, thank you. And drop that off. Then we pick up this body. And then there was this guy over here. Thank you. Why don't I have my shield on? Oh, I know why. Because I had gotten out of the buggy. Do I already have a corpse on me? No. Was it this person? Yeah, there they are. I was all like, wait a minute, I do recall killing somebody over there. Nope, somebody's over there messing with the sandworm. Okay, cool. Let's see if we can go get some more bodies. And actually, there is a little encampment that's up this way. I have killed them many a time. It's actually kind of fun to kill them. Should have kept your head on a swivel. Thank you. You've just made my job easier. Where'd that corpse go? Ah, here you are. Thank you. All right. Yeah, exactly. Why do I suddenly have a headache? Why doesn't it feel like I'm dead? Why is somebody driving towards me? Why is my corpse now in their trunk? Oh well, I'll worry about it later. And here we go. Drop this stuff off, which is bodies. Bodies for the death still. Oh, come on. Get on here properly. Good enough. Let us get those transferred over. Honestly, this base is way bigger than we really need. But it feels nice. And I want buggy, backpack, grab one, deposit. And deposit. There we go. Get some more water going there. And then I also wanted to take a look at potentially grabbing blood bags again. Although honestly, with the amount of water that I can pick up from just doing the dew collection, it's really not that worth it. So yeah, I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, cool. Let's make one of those because they're stupid cheap. Oh, awesome. That's the shield. Oh, nice. Okay, cool. That'll be useful. Tuna sandwiches are good. Let's see. That's steel. I don't want steel. Oh, incoming storm. Sort of. Actually, more storm going past. If I were way up north, it would be hitting me, but I am not way up north. That's duraluminum. That's just aluminum. Hmm. Okay. Don't need that on. All right. Was there anything else that I needed here at the moment? Not particularly. I suppose what I could do is go ahead and mine a whole bunch of iron ore real quick. Then bring some of that back with me to the northern base. That way I can go ahead and just convert it into iron ingots there. And then from there, go get some carbon to make steel. Yeah, that could work. Oh. Also, how much? That is at 99. Okay, cool. Because I only have technically 500 volume available on my Thopter. So I want to make sure that I am not going over that. One of the other things that I kind of want to do, and this is, I don't usually like being like this, or I don't normally like this mentality. In me, at least. I understand it in others, but in myself, I'm not quite always like this or enthusiastic about it. But I kind of want to go and see if there are any other bases that are deteriorating and go raid them for supplies. And see if perhaps we can catch some extra loot that way. As, you know, free stuff is free stuff. But like I said, I'm not personally usually like that. I usually tend to leave people's stuff alone because I understand how much of a pain in the ass it is to collect it. However, if you have allowed it to deteriorate over that amount of time, that's on you, buddy. Let's see if we can, I think, yep, here goes some more. Oh yeah, here goes a lot more. We'll just kind of park here. And we'll probably have plenty of this for the base as well. It gets used in a lot of other stuff randomly anyway. So, oh no! Extra iron. Haha. Doop, dead. Awesome. And then we'll just pick up some extra corpses while we're at it. There he is. Where was the guy that I ran over? I forgot I could just quick tap F. Oh well. Red Rover, I ran his ass over. Okay, where'd that other... Were they in here? Oh yeah, here they are. Well, hey, what do you say we pick up some Sardaukar? Come here, Mr. Sardaukar, and your friends. Yeah, you go ahead and make that beautiful, beautiful noise at me. Come here. Mm-mm. No, I've been captured. Whatever shall I do? Where are they at? What, are you all out? Pussies. Let's go grab the buggy and bring it over. I love how you reach a certain point and you're like, I'm going to intentionally piss off the Sardaukar so that I can use their corpses as water bottles. I seem to be missing one. Okay. There goes those. I think I got all. Oh, wait. Nope. There we go. Now I've got all of them. Yeah, captured. Oh no, they have detained me. It's terrible. What's my... Oh, basically full. Okay. Oh look, there they go again. And we'll come in here. Alrighty. Also, refuel. Awesome. And there we go. Hold on a second. Discord, mobile app, see friends list. No, I don't want to dive deeper. I just want to copy this. You know, I love some people. They're good friends. I've known them for a long time. But I swear to God, they have a complete refusal to just use Google to find answers to solutions. It's not difficult. But some people, they're just like, I can't do it. I can't Google. There we go. Look at all those bodies. Nice. And you still got under 40 minutes. Awesome. And now the fun part. We get to play the box juggle. We're going to move the Jasmium down there, and we're going to grab the buggy, and we're going to move all this stuff in here. Then we switch over to the Scout Ornithopter, and we fill it up as much as possible. And there it goes. Thopter is now filled. I am going to grab, I think, another Decaliter John. For the sake of filling it up. Yeah. Yes. Oh, and I need to repair my Thopter a little bit. Job security, absolutely. And there we go. And we'll just take a nice little glide. I'm not sure. Trying to think, I'll have to double check. But yesterday, when my mom and sister had gone grocery shopping, they had, my sister had noticed that they had the cans of barbecue flavored, they had barbecue flavored Vienna sausages, and my sister had gotten us 2 cans each. And I don't remember if I had my second can yesterday while we were in the middle of the power outage. Which, that was so much fun. And by fun, I mean not really. Like, it was kind of a little bit, but not as much fun as previous power outages have been. Okay. Let's see about repairing these wings here. Uh-oh. Landry's getting on. I think you're about to do it anyway. No, you were correct. That was the correct usage of my. All right, there we go. And now, don't have any space in there. I don't have a whole lot of space in there. Oh, awesome. Okay, cool. That's empty. Exquisite. You know, I'm just thinking I really ought to replace that door with a proper door. There we go. And actually put it the other way around. There we go. There, that matches. And the reason why I want to do this is so that way if, let's say, somebody does thopter down into this spot and they come down here, I don't want them to necessarily be in this antechamber. I want to keep that kind of clear for us. So, yes. Although, honestly, even if they did get inside the base, they're not going to be able to get access to anything. So, I'm not, you know, worried about that or anything like that. Now, the only thing that I do have to kind of worry about is the way that these columns are constructed. I might not be able to get... Yeah. What if... what if I do something like that? I don't necessarily like the look of that. I'll figure it out eventually. That's the only problem with some of the building pieces, and I kind of wish there was a little bit more of a sort of meshing between being able to multi-stack parts so that you could put like two walls in the same spot. That would make life so much easier. But how am I doing that? Okay. I know, right? It's terrible. How dare I have criticisms about this game? What's wrong with me? And then you are... those. Okay, got it. And let's do the half wall. We'll get this in place. Oh, I know what I forgot to pick. One of the things that I'd gone to the guild base to get in the first place was cobalt paste, and just totally left it there. Got distracted by like 16 other things. Oh well. It's not like it's that far away or that difficult to get to. Wow. Oh my god, so difficult. There's that. And then I believe I have... I don't know what I have. Okay. Ow, I sprained my ankle. There we are. You get put there. And there. Hey, what's up, clone? Not too much. How about yourself? So far so good. How's your day going there, Faulty? Let's see. I think I am probably going to have to get... Nice. You probably should get one there, clone. Okay, yep. So I am absolutely... Or... I go ahead and I leave this open. And no. It's so the thing with survival games is that it really isn't about big goals like that. It's about the chasing of certain sort of milestones. It really does, yeah. This is the Harkonnen building set. But as far as like the goal, there is no stated explicit goal. There is no, this is what I have to do. It's just a series of progression milestones. Now, things do change when you go out into the deep desert, because the sort of rules of engagement change. So out in the deep desert, you are in a, for the most part, a purely PvP area. It's huge. There's lots of resources out there, but it is primarily just PvP. This area, Hagga Basin, is specifically majorly PvE. It's designed to allow people to have a safe place to build up their bases, to have a home, and just generally get certain things accomplished that they're looking to accomplish. honestly, the PvP area isn't as bad as most people think it is, primarily because of the fact that as long as you're smart about it, you don't have to worry about it that much. But there's always that whiny person out there, or whiny people, who think that the existence of PvP, oh, will you, for the love of God, just pick a spot. They will think that PvP in a game is a personal attack. Nope. There we go. And I've watched a couple of videos now of the PvP in the game, and it looks interesting. It's not anything that I'm interested in personally, but the act of the PvP itself looks cool. So for those who are looking for it, awesome. You know, more power to them. Let's do this. Actually, no. Get rid of you and you. But as far as the goal of the game, there are, I think Co-Carnage actually put it really well. It is a survival game that is also a Dune RPG. Because there are various quest lines that you can follow. Ah, cool, thank you. Yeah, and then this is like, there are a few areas around the map, around this map, that are PvP. Like some of the shipwrecks are PvP. But the majority of this area is purely PvE. Now, when you go out to the deep desert, it's reversed. The majority of the area is PvP, and there are some safe areas kind of right at the start that are PvE. Oh, come on. There we go. Yay, he has arrived. Let me get that out of the way. There we go. It really wouldn't let me get that. Now, what also makes the PvP in this game a little bit more interesting. Thank you very much. Yeah, kinda. And now I need steel ingots. That's fine. But one of the other things that makes the PvP in this game interesting, and specifically in the deep desert, is that every week they do a deep desert reset. Oh, max 38. Just do that. And so, what is it? Sunday into Monday. What they'll do is they will have a Coriolis storm come through, and it just, all right, catch you later, Tommy. But the storm will come through the deep desert, and it wipes everything out. All the player bases, all of the locations, everything basically gets wiped clean, and then new stuff gets spawned out there. And so week to week, the only things that stay roughly similar are some of the landmarks, but everything else wiped out and rebuilt from scratch. So every week, if you want to be PvP viable out there, you are generally going out and building new forward bases. Kinda, yeah. I don't think it's fully procedurally generated, but it is to a certain extent in terms of like, I believe the rocky bits, you know, the safe spots in the desert, certain landmarks. Yeah, semi-random generated. Well, if you're not doing PvP, the end game is basically you staying in Hagga Basin or the very early entrance area of the deep desert. And you're mostly looking for locations to farm or to grind through. There isn't a huge amount of end game right now, but yes, building is also kind of the big thing. It's kind of like Warframe's fashion frame. Let's see. I want this. Now, I'm hopeful that given time, the end game will actually get better, and there will be a little bit more to it, both for PvP, but also for the PvE side of things. Because even if you are into PvP, there isn't a whole lot. I hope so. I really do. Like, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of Funcom. However, I'm not their biggest opponent either. Admittedly, they have done some cool stuff, and specifically with Conan Exiles. So I really do want to see them succeed with this franchise because of the fact that what they already have here is actually really good. Let's get up here. I want to take a look at this real quick. Yeah. What if... What if... I take out... I was missing a part from there anyway. Okay. There we go. Calm down. All right. Put you there. And, oh, no. Not you or you. You need to just be regular walls. Like that. Now, I have played Conan, or, you know, Conan Exiles. And that is a good game. I played it a long time, off and on. In fact, after the group that I played with in GTA left GTA, they wound up moving over to Conan Exiles for a while because they were looking for something where they could basically be just giant trolls, which, you know, fair enough. And so for a while, they were playing that. Oh, come on. All right, fine. We'll do it this way. I swear to God, sometimes the building works amazing, and then other times it makes me want to kill other people. Not myself, everyone else. All right. What do you mean? Yes, absolutely. Okay, fine. We will get rid of that. All right. Storage. And there is an extra, what's that, 150? Yeah, 100, extra 150. Yes. And it's like it was working just fine about 5 seconds before that. And then all of a sudden it can't figure out how to do that one thing that it's been doing this entire time. It just suddenly is like, nope, sorry, I don't get it. It's like, oh, you are going to get it. All right, let's finish off. Yeah. We don't do that around these parts. And I won't. That and that. And then we finish you off with some of that. I know, right? Now we do the roofs, which we do this. You're all set there. And then oh, come on. In a way, yeah. I mean, it's why we continue to repurchase Skyrim for like the 10th time. We know what the game is like. We know how janky it is. But we can't help ourselves because it's kind of adorable at the same time. All right, there goes this wing that I can go ahead and move some stuff into. I know, right? Actually, no, fuck the Switch too. You know, it used to be that I had a lot of brand trust in Nintendo. And it used to be that I was very pro Nintendo. They did a lot of good stuff for a lot of years. And they have been, for the most part, the good guys. But over the past 5 to 6 years, they have been steadily starting to jump headfirst into the brick wall that is dumbass ideas. Yeah, unfortunately, they have. Yeah, honestly, I wouldn't bother with the Switch 2, at least for now. Unfortunately, way too many other people have. And that is part of the problem. All right. And actually, you know what? You come with me. You get to come upstairs. Yeah, that's the other thing. I'm getting real tired of game companies telling me that when I spend that amount of money on their product, I don't actually purchase it. I'm just licensing it. I'm leasing it from them. And it's like, so basically what you're telling me is that you don't really want my money. And then they try to sit there and act like they're the victims when everybody's like, well, then fine, I'm going to pirate your dumb, stupid game anyway. And they're like, oh, woe is us. We're not going to be able to afford that new Ferrari that I had promised my third son. Like, it's not my problem. Yeah, I'm sorry. But if a company has the ability to simply turn off the product that you have purchased, then you are not purchasing that product, and they do not deserve that amount of money. Plain and simple. That's one of those where ultimately... Yeah, exactly. Let's see. Put you in here. Oh, and that's gonna wind up biting Nintendo in the ass too. Is that they're basically getting in a war with a group of people that have a whole lot of time and a whole lot of energy and a whole lot of desire to basically do whatever, to basically screw Nintendo over. And truth be told, I don't blame them. Oh, that's what I saw. Okay. Yeah, that feels good. Now, one of the things that I would like to see, and especially for a lot of live service games, for instance, like this, is that should they start reaching a point where they are going to start considering shutting down the servers or shutting off the multiplayer component, they should, at the very least, offer the capability to switch to a single player environment. Because I would absolutely love to see more multiplayer primary games go solo or single player. And that, yeah, that's the other problem then, is you have to deal with the hardware issues. And a lot of companies these days aren't fixing their hardware issues. They're like, screw you guys, not our problem. Steel and calibrated. How do I not have enough calibrated servox? Have I just not been bringing them in? I've got... Oh, those are advanced. I need the... Okay, I know which ones I need. All right. Nope, not the right ones. The advanced ones are the tier below the calibrated ones. I know, right? That was the funniest shit ever when she came out with that. It's like, seriously, calling your audience broke is a bad idea. That's equally dumb. Yeah, honestly, this point in time, companies have reached the point, the large companies have just reached the point where they are no longer attempting to hide the fact that they are as greedy as possible. Yep. Like, honestly, at this point, I really didn't like Borderlands 3. I didn't get super into it. So Borderlands 4 wasn't one of those where I'm like, I can't wait for this game to come out. But then that shit. And Randy Pitchford is a fucking tool anyway. And that is an unfortunate and sad reality that we're looking at, is that as it stands, we are most likely witnessing the start of the fall of Rome. We are watching in real time as the levels of greed and corruption are starting to tear apart the actual country. And just like Rome fell, we could be looking at the same thing happening to America. Which, you know, it's funny too when you consider the fact that Borderlands really was just kind of, it was kind of an answer to the action RPG genre by making it a first-person shooter. You know, the looter shooter kind of thing. But the overall arc of the game was kind of just meh. And honestly, Blizzard shutting down would be terrible, because that means that within my lifetime, I had seen the birth of one of the greatest computer gaming companies of all time, and its unfortunate and untimely demise. And I don't think I'd like that. Because we've already lost so many good studios too. Now, granted, the Blizzard of today is not the Blizzard of yesterday. They're very different companies with very different people at the helm. Just like Rockstar is not the Rockstar that we used to know. So it's one of those that I totally get that they are entirely different beasts. I want the timeline where Harambe is still alive. All right. Let's get these ones knocked out. Something like that, yes. You go there. And then windows to the walls. That's not where I wanted you. That's where I wanted you. There we go. I mean, there is no financial incentive for Blizzard to do that. Like, that's the only thing that stops them from enacting that kind of a system anyway. Nope. No, it's fair enough. It's just oftentimes we have to consider that our complaints or our criticisms have to be first filtered through, are we doing it just because we feel like we're being left behind? And if we're not, and if it is legitimately for the welfare of other people, is it economically viable for the company to then do that? Yeah, that's true. Well, and let's put it this way. It's like a casino in Las Vegas. Gambling is inherently an addictive pursuit because the activity of gambling causes certain chemical alterations to happen within the brain. Now, is it the casino's fault that the person who's gambling has poor control, self-control, or is it the person knowing that they have poor self-control? That's the unfortunate argument that has to take place. And it sucks that that's an argument that has to be. But, or, you know, it sucks that it's an argument that has to be had, but it's still something that we need to consider. It's not necessarily the casino's fault that somebody's addicted to gambling, just like it's not Blizzard's fault that their game is ruining that person's life. Exactly. And that is, in some small part, one of the other problems that we are running into as a culture, is that we have stopped taking responsibility for our own actions and activities, and instead find it much easier to put that particular blame on the companies. Now, in all fairness, the companies know what they're doing, and they are specifically spending an ass ton of money to make their products more addicting or more addictive. So there is something to be said for the fact that they should take certain amounts of responsibility for what they're doing. Yeah. Now, see, that's not bad. Every once in a while going, hey, you've been doing this for a period of time. You should probably take a break. Can't tell me what to do. All right. Let's get... Because therein lies the other problem, is that people like to sit there and think, well, I don't have a problem. This isn't affecting my life. I don't know what you're talking about. Even though they most likely are clearly aware of the fact that it's affecting them and those around them. but it's that feeling of I don't want to be in the wrong, so therefore it's not a problem. I have full control over it. And there we go. There. Yep, exactly. Even though everything is telling you that you have a problem, why do I feel like, yep, oh sure, I can do that. WoW is a digital form of heroin. As somebody who has played it off and on for years, it is definitely heroin. Now, granted, the older I get, the easier it is to quit WoW. I know, right? Yes. Well, I think it's because you can use the curved roofs, you can use them as kind of like a form of support. So it makes sense that that would be able to clip. Since they actually inhabit the block underneath. So it's sort of like the graded stairs in Space Engineers. How you could actually clip something on top of them because even though the railing extends upwards, it doesn't fill that top block. And there we go. It really does. We were messing around with it a few months ago. Kintar had a server that was up and running. And we were messing around. It had 1.1 experimental on it. And that was a lot of fun. That was definitely a lot of fun. What we're going to do is apparently... that. Like, I wish it would allow me to clip this through. Oh, come on. Now you're just being a dick. I wonder. Let's set you to this. Haha. There we go. That works. It's gonna look ugly, but that works. Let's see. Oh, who announced something? Oh. Alrighty. So, since we were kind of talking about Space Engineers, looks like on June 23rd, so next week on Monday, they're going to be doing the release live stream for Vertical Slice 1.5 for Space Engineers 2, which is the first part of modding for the game. So that's pretty damn cool. Kind of looking forward to that one. I know, right? Honestly, I have to admit, I am chomping at the bit for Space Engineers 2 to finally actually release Survival. That is absolutely going to be a game changer. And I'm really excited for it. It's one of the few times where I am actively excited for the release of a game. Or for the release of a part of a game. Not even the full game, just a part of it. All right. Well, I'll be damned. Now, it's not equal on both sides. I could make it equal, but I don't necessarily want to. I think I kind of want to keep it like this, where one side is a little bit bigger, only because of the fact that it's, you know, there's more that can go on over there. So that's actually pretty damn cool. And I am... Okay, now this is... There are no roof blocks at all that go between these two. Absolutely nothing, aside from, like, I could try and put these up here. Nope. Because they won't lock into place. They'll go over that. But there's absolutely nothing that will fit between these to give it that additional sort of banding that it has. I could do that. I'm not that worried about it. It's not that big of a deal. There we go. The first part. I also still need to finish up. Finish up the bottom. Which is mostly just to make it look like it's less than just a thin sheet of base. But that it's actually like supported. Like you can already kind of see what I've been doing here. At least I hope you can. But essentially just making it look like it is a full thick block that is supported. Do I have... Sure. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, exactly. No floating factories. Everything is grounded. Did somebody already come by? Oh, wait. I probably came by and grabbed that because I'm an idiot. Wait, no, I didn't. Huh. Oh, well. What do you say we go grab some more water, huh? And then... I don't have a death still here at this base yet. So I don't really need one. Well, I don't really need bodies yet. Although I do have a couple of bodies that have just been here for a while. But essentially what we've been doing is we fill up the deciliter johns, and then once we have them filled, we take them to the water cistern and just drop them off. Empty the bags out into it. And how much longer until... That's fine. Need more water. Because it really doesn't take much time for this to fill up a deciliter john. Which honestly just sounds like I'm trying to cast an incantation. All right. There we go. Whoops, wrong one. And onwards we go. Let's see. Look for more flowers. Ah, here we go. It's kind of nice being able to ride around and not worry about sandworms for a little while. The only thing I really have to worry about is just getting shot at or getting a little lost. And if I get a little lost, not that big of a deal. Real easy to get back. Oh, yes. And that is about full. No need to waste water. So let's head on back. There's our base. Plenty of room downstairs as well for other vehicles. In fact, if we needed to, we could even store additional scout thopters down here in case we needed them for later. All right, Faulty, you have a good one, buddy. Thanks for stopping by. Actually, I may go ahead and take a short break for some foods myself. And deposit water. There we go. All right. Actually, yeah, I'm going to take a short break for some lunch. Need to come up with like a nice sort of observation post. Especially because you can't see out the windows right now. There we go. Anyway, I shall be back in just a few. Maybe. Actually, you know what? Tea break this. And then if I'm not back in like a few minutes, not a big deal. But I'll be right back. Alrighty. And we are back. That was good. Okay. So, now that I've got this in here, I wonder... I'm starting to really like the way that this looks. I need... Well, I guess more specifically, I want... you there. Oh, that's why. I was wondering why I was missing stuff, and I realized because I dumped it. Didn't mean to. I should actually see about doing a death still. And I could see about doing one in here. Let's do a double door there. I want that there. Whoops. Yeah, there we go. That looks good. And will that be under refineries? Yes, it would. And I just need steel ingots for that one. So... there. Awesome. Good to know. So, let's go make some steel ingots, shall we? Over here. And make a max. Make them all. I like this. I like this sort of courtyard thing that we have going on here. I wasn't sure how well it was going to work out, but it definitely has a good feel to it. I just wish that there were more decorations that I could put out here. Things that I could better utilize to make it feel more ornate and more of a show of water wealth. Yeah, there we go. Because I think that's one of the problems that I'm facing right now, is that there's nothing that feels like it demonstrates how water wealthy we actually could be. Since water is the second most precious form of wealth on Arrakis, outside of spice, it would be spice, and then water, and then Solaris. Everywhere else in the universe or the galaxy, spice, and then Solaris. But on Arrakis, you got to throw water in there in second place. So I would just like to see special. What if I do this? Just some more displays, obscene displays even, of wealth. Like if you're spending this much time to decorate your location, it should look like it. Like I want to stunt on everybody else who has a base around here. That's how I want it. But yeah, there we go. You know, as much as I like that, I also don't like that. So let's just do this. Yeah, that'll work. And then it still matches better with the other three corners that we have here. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. And oof, we're right there at that edge. That's fine though. Let's see. I need aluminum for you, iron for that. Could I do aluminum? Do I have enough stuff for aluminum? Like, I can go out and get it. That's not a problem. I'm just wondering if I have enough stuff on hand. Oh, yeah. I do. That'll take up a large portion of our water, but with the death still, once I get that going, we should be fine. Awesome. So there we go. Can I get... I need the calibrated servox. Okay. Which... Okay, I remember where to get those from. Let's drop off... Oh. Buggy. Drop. Actually, no. I don't need that. I just need one of you. And then we just got to come over here and drop this off. I love those doors. I love those doors so much. And there we go. There goes our first corpse in the death still in the northern base. That is awesome. Let's get kind of a bird's eye view of this. Nice. Now I may see about trying to find a way to clean up these areas here, if at all possible. I may need to add Or at least... Well, what I could probably do is actually do a couple extra columns, like one under there, and then one under here. That will then act as the supports for everything else and should be fine. So that shouldn't be too difficult. And then I can go ahead and get rid of the rest of these outer plates. So that way it's a little bit more freestanding and looks a bit nicer. And then I may go ahead and fatten this one out. The only thing is that I don't necessarily want the rocks clipping through it, which is why I have it the way that I do. I could also see about cutting this one down to match. But again, I kind of like the way that they are. So it's one of those, I could go either way with it. We're just going to leave it for now because we have other stuff to do. But I mostly didn't want a base that looked like everything else. And actually, let's go to... Let's go to Arakeen and talk to Thufir. Yay. Boop. Yes. And then I'll probably at some point need to go out. In fact, I may go poke my head into the deep desert. At some point. There we go. I'm not sure. Well, if I go out to the deep desert, the first thing I need to do is I need to swap out my storage for a booster. And then, because typically what I'll do is I'll use the booster to get out to the locations that I'm looking for. Once I'm there, I land and get out of the Thopter and then package up the Thopter. And then I will go ahead and start collecting the titanium and stravidium until I fill up my inventory. Then I'll go ahead and swap the booster for the storage containers or the extra storage on the Thopter, continue to look a little while longer, and then go ahead and basically call it and come back. That essentially keeps me relatively safe, makes it a little bit easier to hide on foot, and especially on some of those larger land masses or rock masses that are out there, because they do have some like nooks and crannies you can hide in. Out of the way. Come through. And then the other thing, the other way to see if it's going to be worthwhile to go out into the deep desert is to monitor the conversations.
Expected you. Sorry. Occupational. An impressive performance and a tidy report. I appreciate that. So many field agents are sloppy with their documentation. I'm afraid there is no time to build a proper cover. Besides, I already have a hidden agent among the Masquerade.
Okay.
You'll do what you do best. Attack swiftly and directly, and obtain what information you can. It seems we're not the only ones after Skorda.
Okay.
I received word that he tried to get off-world before talking to Oslo, but was attacked by 2 mercenaries. He made a daring escape. Perhaps Harkonnen, perhaps someone else. Skorda may have joined the cult for strange purposes, but I wager he wanted protection from his attackers.
That's fair.
Go to the Learning Center. Find Skorda or information leading to him. Take all due precaution. These are fanatics.
Yeah, I've killed dozens of them so far. Like, seriously, I've killed a bunch of them. Ooh, level 126. Alrighty. So it looks like there's no fall damage here in the city, which is kind of cool. Yay. I have 1,200 on me. Okay, cool. Oh, that's right. I need to, at some point, yep. I need to pay off my taxes for the new place. Hey, there's a little mouse. Oh, man. However, once we get back, I think what I want to do is once I get back, I think, come on. Oh, man. Actually, I think I might, I know I just took a food break, but I think I might go ahead and just take a shorter day today. And there we go. I know, right? It makes you worried sometimes. Well, let's get back to get back to base before I leave. Come on. Somebody's about to find out that some money got spent. All right. You'll find out. There you go. At least it was money well spent. And here we go. There you go. Definitely money well spent then. Do I not have... Thought I had Solaris around here somewhere. Ah, there they are. Cool. All right. Well, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up for today. That has been a strange and interesting week, to say the least. But hopefully next week, in fact, what I am hoping for next week, because it will be the last week that we have the server up and running, is that I will be doing some work on it. The plans for that is that once we do the last day, which will probably be next Friday for the server, I will go ahead and I will package the whole thing up as a save file, and then we will go ahead and I will upload it to the workshop so that if you guys wanted access to it, you would be able to get the save file to play around with it, to get any blueprints off of it that you might want, that sort of a thing, and just make sure that we have a general backup. And then I will make sure that the server gets shut out correctly and that everybody is, you know, happy with that. But yeah, probably not going to do another month for the server, at least for a little while. And, you know, if we do the server again, I'll definitely let you guys know. It'll probably be the same group of people too. You guys have been a pretty good group. Even Tommy with his extravagant contraptions. But other than that, though, that is going to be it for today. As always, thank you all for joining me on these misadventures. So glad to have you guys along for the ride. You all have a wonderful day. Stay out of trouble. And remember, if you get caught, I don't know you. I will catch you guys next week.